Hi guys and welcome back again to the Tech YouTube channel. One of the graphics cards which came out together with the release of the AMD's R9 300 series is also the R7 370, which is actually a successor to the R7 265 model. As you may have noticed, today we have one from Asus, and that's the R7 370 Strix Gaming Edition. As with all Strix editions of Asus graphics card, this model also stands out with 0 dB fan working mode, which is combined with the Asus DirectCu 2 cooler, custom PCB design, and other high quality components for power circuitry that make this graphics card that much better than its competitors. Except the usual overview of features, you will find some basic specifications for the card and a video output layout. Opening out the box, you can notice that the inner box is slightly different, while Asus also made a change in their bundle, giving you a crossfire bridge, which is not that common for them. The rest of it is pretty usual. Here we have a Strix sticker, some user manuals and optical disc with drivers and software, and of course the card itself. This particular cooler design is pretty much the same as seen on some other Strix cards, like the GTX 750 Ti for example, so yes, it looks pretty good. We have two reasonably big 6mm copper heat pipes going into direct contact with the GPU and up to the aluminum part of the heatsink, which is cooled off with two 75mm fans. The top part of the cooler is completely made out of plastic, utilizing some designer details and sticking out on the back together with the aluminum heatsink. Because of that, the card is actually quite longer than the PCB itself, but that's something what Asus decided to do so they can put on the second fan and keep the card cooler and factory overclocked. As we said, Asus also decided to put better components, and that's why you can see a dedicated heatsink on their power design alongside of the upgraded caps and MOSFETs. Going around the card, you'll find your usual suspects like one 6-pin power connector oriented towards back, one crossfire connection for up to two-way multi-GPU setup, and a referent video output layout of one HDMI, one DisplayPort, one DVI and one DVI-D, all in all everything within the original specifications. Speaking of the specifications, as we said, the R7 370 graphics card series is based off the R7 265 series, which means it has the same amount of shaders, same memory bus width, and so on. The only thing that is different in this case is larger amount of VRAM, which Asus put on their own. Usually you'll get 2 GB of it, but in this card we have 4 GB, together with higher GPU clock and memory speeds. Taking a look at the performance in a brief sentence or two, we can conclude that this graphics card, or the R7 370 series to be more precise, is a great example of a more budget-oriented graphics card model ideal for 1080p gaming on mid to high settings. We could say that 4 GB of VRAM is a bit of an overkill for this resolution, but it may help a bit if you're trying to tackle the 1440p resolution, although you would probably have to dumb down the graphical settings a lot. Our testing showed a pretty decent frame rates throughout few different titles and benchmarking software. It's definitely not a future-proof model for a long run, but we might see it becoming a common pick for those users on the budget. Temperatures in idle were surprisingly low, especially since the fans don't spin, around 36 Celsius degrees, of course card being dead silent in that scenario, while in load we got to a just above 75 degrees Celsius mark. In that state, card consumed about 130 to 150 watts when you calculate the difference between idle and load, while fans on the other hand were barely noticeable on an open test bed and without any coil whine. Thank you once again guys for checking out our unboxing and review of the Asus R7 370 Strix graphics card. Feel free to give us a thumbs up if you like this video, leave a comment down below if you have any questions about the product, and of course, if you would like to see more content like this, you can subscribe to our Tech YouTube channel, or you can check out our other videos from before.